As most of you may know, back in June of 2024, following the rumor wildfires of Dr. Disrespect's ban from Twitch, he came out with a tweet essentially admitting to everyone's worst fears. He had messaged a minor in what he claimed to be casual, mutual conversations that sometimes led too much in the direction of being inappropriate. Looking back at it now, even this sentence in particular where he dropped the bombshell reeks at an attempt to downplay his actions by not outright biting the bullet and skipping all of the unnecessary fluff. Although this is vastly overshadowed by the fact that he happened to edit the word minor out before adding it back in shortly after. Fast forward a few months, and Dr. Disrespect teases his return, implying he baited everyone in an update to his Twitter banner. And upon his actual return, instead of explaining his actions and taking accountability, he just deflected and obfuscated his story in an attempt to salvage his reputation, claiming that all of his words were planned to trick journalists and incompetent tabloids. But also, unfortunately, when you're too big to fail, such as Dr. Disrespect, sometimes these shallow attempts to save face do end up working. So during his return, Dr. Disrespect was greeted with thousands of viewers and hundreds of dollars of super chat donations while his fans welcomed him back with open arms. Half a year later, and not much has changed. Dr. Disrespect has yet to give up on the past and attempted to project his foul behavior onto his former friends, which goes to show that despite having months to comfortably sit down and stream while thinking about the criticism he's received or his actions, he has yet to take accountability for anything he's done. So suffice it to say, he crashed out live on stream in the most unaware way possible, and it's absolutely embarrassing to witness.
I think Nick Merck's the biggest fucking pussy in the world. Lupo, obviously, he's a big ass, he's a fake. Let's go ahead and say it. Didn't talk about it before, but I'm in the mood now to talk about it. I think these fucking people are the phoniest people in the industry, man. You know what I mean, champs? I won't talk about it anymore, but I just had to say that. I did, and I know you guys know, but God, I had to say it. Biggest fucking phonies. I can call out all these people. I don't want to, though.
Imagine being so shameless about your own behavior. Imagine being so shameless about something that you yourself admitted to, not just to the public, but in private to your friends and business partners, that you feel entitled to the loyalty of those that are disgusted by your terrible behavior. This is someone with absolutely no integrity. He does something that by most people's standards is completely unforgivable and indefensible, yet still has the nerve to expect those around him to back him up for something that would get you crucified PR-wise. It's incredibly selfish and unreasonable to expect anyone to die on your hill, yet they're the ones who are two-faced.
Oh man, you know what I mean, champs? These people have met, like those two people met Mrs. Assassin and Baby Assassin, Little Assassin, right? They met him multiple times. So for Nick to go on some fucking low-budget podcast and talk about us the way he did, like who does that? Like pause the music. Who does that? Fucking phony pussy. And then Lupo screaming at the top of his lungs. He's got 400 viewers now. No one gives a, like he's always copied us, transitions, intros, all that stuff. He's always has. Like I'm just gonna release some stuff off my mind. Disrespecting me, disrespecting Mrs. Assassin, Little Assassin. Come on, man. That's how you get knocked the fuck out.
The irony here is just so, it's very intoxicating because it's also incredibly infuriating. This guy is making threats over the internet because other people no longer respect him or his family. It's hard to believe that anyone within your immediate vicinity respects you as well, considering the multiple massive breaches of trust, such as cheating on your wife and messaging minors, or a minor in this case. Let's say hypothetically you didn't have any sexual conversations with this minor individual like most people like to assume. Let's say you didn't do anything predatory or sexual and give some charity just to emphasize this. It's still incredibly foul to anyone for you to be recklessly engaging in inappropriate conversations with any minor. For this guy to be making threats when most people want this type of behavior punished much more severely than just a knockout is just rich. Now, keep in mind, I do not endorse violent reactions at all. It just so happens that the vast majority of people online would probably wish far worse.
This guy thinks he's this Nick Merckx dude. I don't even know what happened to him. I don't know if he's still around. He thinks he's like tough guy putting his who can I knock out in a fight list together. Like first off, who does that shit, man? Second off, this guy wouldn't even fucking come close. No way. Anyways, I just don't know who, like, the type of mentality to go on and talk about someone like that. Like, you just gotta be, you're lost. You don't do that. Time out. No. Especially when you don't know shit. No one does. Fucking rat, what he is. Lupo, fake, phony rat. There's a lot of people that I don't care about. I don't care about.
It's so insane to see him attempt to claim that it's just weird to line someone up for a fight over the internet, yet he does it himself. It's also jaw-dropping to hear him attempt to defend himself from people disrespecting him over the internet by claiming that no one even actually knows what occurred. If you want to make a defense for yourself so badly, and you want people to know how guilty you really are or aren't, then you should probably put all of your cards on the table and reveal the messages so that people aren't alleging that you sexted a minor. To be absolutely clear, no one will ever know if that's the case or not because there hasn't been any evidence to prove or disprove it. So people will automatically just assume the worst case scenario unless you could show something that cancels that narrative. I understand, obviously, that any inappropriate message will still be bad, and it will still look bad regardless, but at the very least, there will be a level of measurability to how bad your actions actually were. However, since he has yet to show us anything, the conclusion most people draw is that the messages are likely pretty bad and would incriminate him further.
Issue that I have with those two is that they met Mrs. Assassin multiple times. They met Baby Assassin. They met my family. Right? They know what I'm about, you know? You know what I mean, champs?
Ah, yes, the guilt trip. Classic. Guys, they met my family. I have a family. They should know I'm not a bad person because I have a family. They met my child. I don't think I have to explain what's going on here. The reality of this is that no one owes you anything just because you were vulnerable to them once. This is literally high school loser level behavior.
They got sucked in by an over-exaggerated fucking narrative that was blown up by all these little anime, desperate for attention, zero life experience people on the internet, these trolls, and it was blown out and exaggerated. And then you got people going, but you admitted it. What the fuck do we admit? Some jokes and bannering? That's what we said. Wake up. We didn't admit nothing.
All right, again, you don't want an over-exaggerated narrative. Put your cards on the table and show everyone how bad it really is. Although I doubt that's possible, likely due to PR advice and legal concerns. The point here being that he can't hide behind that excuse if there's nothing to support his claim. Granted, it is a bit unfair for people to also exaggerate the claim, but realistically, you did do this to yourself by admitting to it in your tweet as much as you want to backtrack and claim it was just bait for these zero life experience trolls, as you like to put it. It's also funny that you specifically said zero life experience. What life experience would you need to comprehend your actions here? Also, the more you talk and say it was just jokes and banter, the more I'm personally inclined to believe there's something there that you really don't want to be seen. What type of life experience would someone need to understand the dynamic you and this minor had? I'm not going to make any implications, and I discourage anyone watching this video to draw any conclusions, but what I will say is that without any observable evidence, everything Dr. Disrespect is saying just sounds like pure cope.
Now, you're convinced, and they're all convinced by the narrative that was put out by, guess who? Rolling Stones, Washington Post, right? Little fucking depressed, deep-eyed slasher. All these people, right? These people we can't relate to. And it's unfortunate. But the real truth, after that, it was revealed. Look at these fucking fake phonies, man.
This dishonest behavior doesn't do Dr. Disrespect any favors either. Here he's purposefully muddying the waters by bunching all of these groups and people together, claiming that they're painting this exaggerated narrative, when the reality is that even this Rolling Stones article in specific here, which was published back in June 27 of 2024, was only reporting information that was publicly alleged or claimed by other individuals and didn't outright claim that there was any predatory behavior or any suggestion of pedophilia. Let's just say the quiet part out loud. While there were mentions of sexually graphic messages in some of these reports, they are reports that were clearly said to have been alleged and confirmed by people outside of Rolling Stones. At most, you can claim that Slasher and Cody were incredibly reckless and lacked journalistic integrity, but to muddy the waters by bunching everyone together is such a weak cop-out to avoid a proper elaboration of events. Then he also tries to obfuscate and claim that the truth came out as if it were facts. Slasher may have been a brain-dead idiot who jumped the gun and falsely claimed that Dr. Disrespect was arrested, but there is still something to the story that isn't completely out in the open that you have yet to actually shed light on. Yet you keep trying to walk back the fact that you admitted to this. No one's going to believe the bait excuse.
I mean, you're literally, Nick's going on a podcast talking about us, champs. I don't even fucking... Look, there's a difference between having to, as a person in the industry, to speak up on it and, for example, Tim and Z Laner, like they're good people. They're good people. They responded in a way where it's like, hey, from what we've heard, okay, again, give me a call, shoot me a DM, whatever. Let's talk about it. Explain it in a couple minutes. Boom, that's it. But they never did that. So for those that are asking, like, you should play with Z or Timmy, the only way is they'd have to apologize. Not publicly. I don't care about it. They just come up and say, hey, made a mistake. Boom, let's get back into it. Then I'm good, right? That's how I deal with shit, right? Like, hey, as long as you learn from it, you apologize, boom, you move on. This whole exaggerated narrative that was built up, so pathetic. Bunch of fucking pussies. It's what it is. We've got Bobby rallied. We got Vis. Do we have to network to stay relevant or popular or do what? No, champs. All these fucking other people, they need each other. They need the streamer award shows. They need to network. They need Twitch. They need to do this. We need to do a hot tub stream together. We need to fucking make sure we collab. It's like, holy shit, Dexerto, it's like a dick-sucking website for Kai Cenat.
This is actually such a miserable display, man. This is all pure cope that you're no longer invited to the lunch table and you're just lashing out and coping that no one likes you anymore. This dude's ego is so obviously hurt that he isn't getting any attention for anything other than the allegations that are yet to be answered in a proper way. This guy literally crashed out because no one respects him anymore. It's truly pathetic, and that's all there really is to this. That's all I got for today. Later.